This video is a basic introduction to using the laser cutters in the project space. It will demonstrate the standard procedure for uploading a file to the machine, loading the material, and cutting your design. However, before using a laser cutter, you must always first familiarise yourself with the associated risk assessments available next to the machines. You must never use a laser cutter without supervision. If you are unsure or need help at any stage, please consult with one of the technicians in the project space. You will normally need to provide your own material for cutting, and it is important that you pick within specification. The material must be no more than 10mm thick and no bigger than 600 by 900mm in size. Acrylics and plywood are the most common materials, but you must ensure that the wood is laser cutting grade, i.e. non-resinous, and that any plastics do not contain PVC, as this can release chlorine gas when cut. A full list of suitable materials can be found in the settings guide. Again, if in any doubt, consult one of the technicians. The machine should already be on and ready to use, and the software already open. If it is not, simply right-click on the Laser 53 icon on the desktop and choose Run as Administrator to launch the software. The main window shows the 600 by 900 table of the laser cutter. To get started, you will first need to import your design as a DXF file. This is usually brought in on a USB drive or emailed to yourself, although in this example I am opening a DXF file from the desktop. You can see a preview of the file prior to opening it. The view switches to a close-up of the design. Notice how all the lines are red. This means that the object is currently selected. The current view is Zoom to All Object. We can also Zoom to All Table to return to the overall view and see where the design is currently positioned on the vector grid. This also gives us a rough indication of the overall size of the design. We can manually zoom in and out using the mouse wheel. If I click outside the design, I deselect it. You can now see the different coloured lines of the design, indicating different operations. If I use the Pick tool, I can select different parts of the design by drawing a box around them, or I can select the entire design again. The first thing I usually do is select the design and navigate to Tools, Unite Lines. Clicking OK will close any minute gaps in the drawing, reducing the risk of tags and ensuring a continuous cut. We can see on the right the list of current operations and the order in which they will be performed. At the moment, the blue letters will be cut first, followed by the black circles. However, we can decide instead to engrave the letters rather than to cut them. Notice how the speed and power settings change to the different engraving presets. These values will need to be changed depending on the material being cut, as per the material specification guide. Double-click on the required variable to manually change these settings. The up and down buttons will change the order of the operations. This blue diamond marker indicates where the laser will begin from relative to your design. Ensure that the immediate box is always checked to enable this datum point. In this example, I have a variety of different operations. I will first save the file as an ECPEC project file, which will allow me to download the design to the laser cutter itself. File name should be short, one word, and have no special characters. Now I will check my operations order. It is usually always best practice to work from the inside of the design out. If I wish to make minor additions or corrections to the design, I can do so within this software. For example, I can use the rectangle tool to add a rectangle, then navigate to Draw, Size, and alter the dimensions on the XY axis. However, you should always try to ensure your original DXF file is the final version of your design. One useful feature is the ability to make multiple copies of a design. To do this, I first select the design with the Pick tool and reposition it on the table. I then navigate to Draw, Copies, and specify the amount I want in each column and row. Be sure to leave a gap of a few millimeters between each copy, depending on the size of your material. Note the position of the new datum as the size of my design increases. To send the design to the laser cutter, click Download, followed by Download Current. This will take some time depending on the complexity of your design. You can now load your material into the laser cutter. Place your material onto the vector grid table, trying to make sure it sits as flat as possible. If the file is highlighted on the display, press Escape to remove the highlight. This will allow you to use the arrow buttons to manually jog the laser in 4 cardinal directions. Position the laser pointer dot to your datum point, usually on the upper right of the outer perimeter of your design, as per the blue diamond. Next, you will need to set the correct distance between the focusing lens and your material using the laser height gauge. There should be several of these nearby. Place the height gauge level on your material and line the top of it up with the underside of the first collet of the laser assembly, like so. Use the up and down buttons to raise or lower the table as necessary. With everything set, perform a test of your operation. Highlight your file, you may need to press Enter, and scroll through the files. When you have highlighted your file, press Test to see the overall perimeter of your shape. If the pointer wanders off the material, adjust as necessary. Finally, close the lid and press Start to cut your design. Always monitor a cut in progress, do not leave the machine. If there are excessive smoke or any other issues, stop the cut immediately and consult a technician. When your design has finished being cut, wait for the smoke to clear before lifting the lid of the machine. Then you can carefully remove the components from the vector grid. Any internal parts that have fallen through can be collected by removing the tray in front of you. Finally, before leaving, please remember to clean up the vector grid with the supplied azo wipes. Once again, make sure you familiarise yourself with the risk assessment prior to using the laser cutter, and never attempt to laser cut anything without a technician present in the project space. Thanks for watching.